Hello folks, it's a beautiful fall morning here as I embark on this journey that I thought would be fun to bring you guys along on the ride. I'm currently on my way to the airport. I'm about to board a flight and head down to the Rocky Mountains of Colorado. So a little bit of the backstory. I don't talk about this on my channel a lot because typically I'm up to my eyeballs in whatever project it is I'm working on, and I'm trying to convey the information in the best way that I possibly can. So it doesn't leave a lot of time for me to talk about these things, but I actually help people out from a distance, whether it be over the phone or FaceTime, or in this case, in person. So I've been helping this individual out over the phone with some of the hiccups with his car. Now, I should also mention, this car is an absolutely stunning example of an unmolested 1988 Foxbody Mustang. And it's the car that this gentleman has always wanted to have, right? The one he drooled over in high school. So he searched high and low and found this beautiful Survivor. And I mean, it's stock, right? It's got a car alarm and a stereo. That's it. Now, he has done a couple of things to it himself. He's put some exhaust on it, and he got a Cobra rear valance, had it painted, put on, and he put a set of gears in it as well. Good starting points, right? But there are a few things with it that he wants to work through and wants me there to help him work through them. Some voltage draws, and there's a whole laundry list of stuff, of which you will see as this video progresses. But I thought it'd be fun to bring you guys along for the ride. Everybody loves seeing an unmolested 88 GT. I mean, if you don't, you're probably watching the wrong YouTube channel. Well, ladies and gents, here I sit in my home garage because I was a complete idiot and I did not take my camera out of the bag in Colorado the whole time I was there. But not all is lost, because Dave and his wonderful bride, Jules, were kind enough to send me some video after I had left. So I'll factor that into this video to show you guys exactly what it is that I'm talking about. I also did take some photos while I was there, so those will be overlaid. But I thought I'd talk you guys through the story because I've made some tall claims on this car. This car is probably the top 3 nicest examples of unmolested Fox bodies that I've ever seen. Okay, like beautiful, beautiful car. So the story goes, I got there the first night after a long day of traveling. We went into the garage and started to appreciate this car. Instantly, I was on my heels. Like, this thing got me right away. I'm like, what is this? Like, it looks like something that's been bubble wrapped its whole life. So Dave says, I think the hatch has been painted and maybe the front bumper cover. And I'm looking going like, maybe, but like, I can't say for certain. If it has been painted, whoever painted it, like, matched OEM orange peel. Like, it's just impeccable, you know? And when Dave got the car, it was a completely unmolested car. So stock exhaust, air silencer, distributor boot, like everything unmolested, right? The laundry list of things that he wanted to tend to were, it's got a voltage draw coming from somewhere. It's got an old Clifford alarm in it that he wanted to get rid of. It also has an aftermarket stereo. So that, I guess, was a change that had been made to the car from OEM. And a power steering leak. Essentially wanted to go through the car like tits to tail and make sure that everyth's good to go, and also learn a bunch too, because Dave is kind of new to the Mustang game. Oh, and one more thing, he had an issue where the car was just stalling. When he was out on little cruises, the car would just die on him completely. He had diagnosed it to the point where he had a fuel pressure gauge on it. When it died, He found out he was only getting like 9 PSI worth of fuel pressure. So he put a fuel pump in it, but he was worried that the fuel pump that he put in it might be having some issues. So that was kind of the laundry list of things that we started to deal with. Anyway, day one, we peeled the alarm out of this thing. It was a very involved alarm in that I don't think there was any option that this Clifford alarm had offered up in the day that this thing didn't have in Dave's car. It was a very, very intense alarm. And I thought, you know, because of the voltage draw, oh, I should mention too, Dave had diagnosed the voltage draw down to the circuit, horn, radio, fuel door release, interior light, I think, is all on that one circuit, and that's where his voltage draw was coming from. So I thought, you know what, let's just get that alarm out of there. Maybe we can kill two birds with one stone. Pulled the alarm all out, returned everything back to OEM spec, heat shrinked everything, tidied everything up, and surprise, surprise, voltage draw solved. So we did kill two birds with one stone, which was great. Let me tell you this though, while I was underneath the driver's compartment of that car, I'm just thinking to myself, like, it looks like someone has almost cleaned in here, but not. Like, it's just that clean. There's no dust. Like, all of the OEM harness tape and everything is fresh and tight. It was almost eerie. Like, I thought to myself, it's OEM. Like, it's not even as if someone has just redone all this and made it nice. Like, how the hell can this thing be in such impeccable shape? And I'm fresh off of having the interior yarded out of my green coupe. And, you know, mine's a standard Foxbody in that all that tape's like flaking and falling off and whatever. And my car hasn't even seen extreme temps. It's been a Canadian car its whole life, stored in the winters. So somehow this 88 GT is still in showroom format all underneath that dash. It's just, every time I got into a new corner of that car, it blew my mind completely. Quick side note, for whatever reason, the driver's side window, power window, just wouldn't go down one day. And it had never happened to him before. Go to pull the door panel off. As I've got the door panel off, I'm looking at the harness plugs for the power windows, power locks, and those plastic boots or rubber boots, whatever, they're plastic, like a hybrid plastic rubber that kind of weather wrap those two power window, power lock connections. Those things typically look like an 85-year-old man, his fingernails, and he's smoked like 4 packs of smokes a day. They're auburn in color and they get brittle and whatever. These ones in Dave's car were like clear, like water clear, brand new. I've never even seen them like that. Like, I didn't even know they were that color. Again, every time I did something on that car, I was like, what in the hell? Where did you find this thing, you know? So anyway, going back to the voltage draw, we solved that problem. Then, so Dave says, you know, I've changed this fuel pump out and, you know, the car seems to be running fine. However, the fuel pump gets louder. Okay, well, what does that all mean, right? So we fire the car up and it's humming along, making like, you know, Foxbody fuel pump noises as it should. We take it for a drive. We come back to the garage. This fuel pump the volume has been turned up to 10. Like, it's just making fuel pump noises, but louder. Like, well, that's kind of weird, right? So we're underneath the back of it. I'm feeling the tank. The tank actually does feel somewhat warm to the touch. Open the gas door, pull the cap, put my hand over that. It also feels warm. I'm like, and the reason I was doing that is the fact that that pump was making more noise. I'm like, it sounds like it's hot. And you know, maybe the tolerances within that pump have widened or tightened, you know, and that's what's making this fuel pump make more noise, right? So Dave had kind of pre-gamed all this and had a backup fuel pump. LMR sent him one. So he reached out to them explaining his situation. They just put a new one in the mail. So it's a 255 Walbro. Anyway, we dropped the tank, pulled the old pump out, put the new one in, fire the car up, leak test it, everything's great. We go for another drive, we come back, fuel pump's loud again. Well, what in the hell? And I just put a 255 Walbro in my green car. However, I have not driven it long distances or had it out for an extended period of time. So I don't have any real life experience with these 255 Walbros. Now, question I'll throw to you guys is, if you have one of these pumps, can you comment below and let me know, is your pump making more noise when it's warmed up? Because two of these pumps that we put in Dave's car do, and it's got a scratch in our heads a little bit. I left Colorado with the car still doing that, because it's a bit of an unknown. The car runs impeccably, wide open throttle, idle, like does everything it's supposed to do. It's just that pump, when it's warm, makes more noise. So anyway, let me know on that. What else? We did, there was a power steering leak, put a new hose in it. Again, we wanted to try to get this car to a point and get Dave to a point where he felt comfortable with the car. So there was a lot of like us laying underneath the car, you know, pointing things out, checking things out, tightening things, or just checking that they were tight. Because Dave, again, he's new to the Mustang game and just wanted to build a sense of confidence around this car where he understood all the bits and pieces of it. He also has the confidence, or wanted to gain the confidence, to tear into some of these projects on his own and go on long distance cruises with him and his bride and not have anything to worry about. Or if something comes up while he's on that cruise, he kind of knows where to look and what to do, what to check, whatever. And I think we accomplished that. So the trip was an absolute riot. I knew Dave over the phone prior to me going down there, had never met him in person, and then meeting him and his wife, lifelong friends instantly. Like absolute wonderful, wonderful people. And again, I got to see one of the cleanest, unmolested 88 GTs that I've ever laid eyes on in my life. Oh, another cool part of this car, it's a California car. So it has mass air, right? One of the early ones that got mass air from Cali. Something that actually threw me for a little bit of a loop with it is that 88 GT has a low coolant sensor in the overflow bottle. I'd never seen that before. I thought those came into effect in like 90 and up. And I've asked a few other people that have been hanging around Foxbodies for a long time, and they'd never heard of that either. So I don't know if that's a California thing. So those like early aero cars that got mass air from Cali also got a low coolant sensor in them. One of those kind of mysteries, you know, you think you know these Foxbodies and something always pops up and surprises you. So anyway, so grateful that I got to meet these folks and so grateful that I got to lay my hands on that car. Absolutely amazing, amazing car.